What's Gucci with the veterans military? Today we're going to be talking about a veteran who has been denied multiple times on a VA disability rating for mental health. Let's dissect this VA decision letter and see what this veteran should do in order to get service connected. And so we got to decide for this VA decision letter. And first we see the veteran submitted a claim multiple times for service connection for psychological condition to include anxiety, depression, and adjustment mood disorder. Cool. And obviously with supplemental claims, veterans need to submit new and relevant evidence in order to be considered for rating purposes, as well as, getting to that C&P compensation and pension exam. Good. This is all same regular jargon that the VA sends out. Going on to the next slide. The evidence does not show your condition has worsened, which existed prior to service permanently worsened as a result of service. So if this was a pre-service aggravation claim, the VA is supposed to modify and adjust and regulate this claim accordingly as such. However, depending to the veteran's medical evidence, as well as if there's any evidence of prior service mental health issues, it doesn't reflect that his service, or whatever he's telling them, that it wasn't aggravated by his service. Cool. Then they go on to say, we did not find a link between your medical condition and his military service. So X on the pre-service aggravation for a VA claim and X for direct service on a VA disability claim. Then they try to consider whether his injury resulted from a toxic exposure risk activity, commonly known as TERA. Cool. And it did show that, yes, he did participate in an event and or his job was related to a TERA event. But due to the C&P exams, they said no, it's not determined that his mental health is not caused by any TERA activity. Moving on from there. And this is the most important part right here. And it's pretty much saying, the question arises. Is this VA claim for pre-service aggravation or direct service causation? Go on. You have been diagnosed with a disability. VA examined June 2022 as well as February 2023. Shows a diagnosis for adjustment disorder mixed with anxiety and depressive mood. Participation in toxic exposure risk activity is conceded. So yes, we do identify that you do qualify for any TERA related claims, but this claim specifically isn't related to it. Gucci. Issue is that it existed prior to military service. So with that being said, either this veteran has medical evidence that supports a mental health diagnosis of adjustment disorder with mixed anxiety and depressive mood, then that's the reason why the VA denied them. But if he does not have that, if it's not in his prior service record, if it's not captured on that initial physical exam, mental exam, getting into the military, when we're at MEPS, if it's not on that documentation, that veteran needs to pull that and attach it to a new supplemental claim, but actually go into details, dissect this VA decision letter in order to increase his opportunity and his chances for service connection. Even if it's at a 0%, that should be the aim for all veterans, is to get service connected. You can always work on increasing it from 0 from there, but the biggest gambit and the hardest thing to do for most veterans is get service connected. Then going on from there, history obtained at your VA examination, or commonly known as a VA C&P exam, compensation and pension exam, dated June 2022, February 2023. It notes lifelong depression and anxiety. So depending on what this veteran has said to examiners and or to his psychiatrist, is hurting this claim. It's hurting his claim because they can't figure out, where he's telling them it doesn't coincide with military service. Majority of it is coinciding with issues that arise prior to this veteran going into the military. If that's not the case, this veteran needs to go back, work with their psychiatrist, see if they can provide them with a detailed medical opinion or a nexus letter, but you don't have to go out and pay for it. You still might have to pay for it, with your own doctor, but this veteran should definitely go out, seek that information, talk to their psychiatrist or therapist, whether it be in the private medical world or at the VA medical facility, and get this situated. I didn't say none of this, or if the psychiatrist, they need to figure it out. They need to take care of it. If not, this veteran is never going to get this service connected, because there's a discrepancy in what the veteran is telling them as well as what his medical evidence is showing. Now, I'm not sure how this veteran submitted this claim, if it's trying to, direct service and or service aggravation. But from the comments on this thing, it seems like the veteran is trying to submit this via direct service. Okay, cool. If that's the case, you definitely need to establish, hey, this issue did not occur prior to my military service. And I'm sure this veteran didn't submit a pre-service aggravation claim. I'm sure this veteran is trying to get service connected for anxiety, depression, adjustment, mood disorder due to his time in the military. If that's the case, like I was saying earlier, that veteran needs to take this decision letter and dissect it. Cool. Y'all said I had no in-service complaints. If the veteran did, here you go. If he didn't, buddy statements are going to be your best friend when it comes to trying to fill in those gray areas of you not going for 8 or 20 years, not getting mental health treatment while you was active duty. So cool. You got buddy statements that can pretty much validate certain time periods within your active duty period to attest to, yes, hey, Vet X had mental health disabilities. He had mental health issues. However, they didn't want to go into medical. Why? Because of the command climate, and then you move on from there. And then when it specifically addresses that, okay, you have lifelong issues pertaining to your mental health, then you really need to address that either with your current psychiatrist, because if you go into a CMP exam, that examiner is only going to take what's being presented to them at the time of your exam, as well as whatever you tell them. And if you're just throwing things out of the IBS, it's going to be an issue for you. So you definitely need to get back in the game. Talk to your psychiatrist, like, hey, I'm going to be submitting another supplemental. Or maybe that veteran already has that medical evidence needed. He can submit for a higher level review. Go to a higher level review, get it taken care of. But if not, definitely take the supplemental route again. Do it right the first time. Well, do it right this time. Dissect that decision letter with a personal statement. X, Y, Z. Of the reasons why you believe that the VA should overturn this, service connect you, as well as give you the rating that your medical evidence supports, whether it be 10% for mental health, 70% for mental health, very rare cases, 100% for mental health. But yeah, hey, this fucking Debo out.